You're not broken. You're not lazy, and you're most definitely not alone. But if you've ever felt overwhelmed, disconnected, like you don't belong, then this video is definitely for you. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Culture Shift channel. I am your host, Jared Scott, and today I want to talk to you about why students feel stuck. I have spoken at over 1,000 different schools across the country, and there are multiple reasons for this, but I want to break down 3 main reasons today that I see students just stuck in their ways, stuck in negative beliefs, stuck feeling and believing that they are simply not enough. But before we dive too deep into that, I want to share this recent research done by the American Psychological Association that showed that about 70% of students feel as if they are simply not enough. They're not smart enough, they're not strong enough, they're not seen, they're not heard, they feel invisible when asked by an adult. Now, in that study, these students were given tasks to do. These were expression tasks, personal reflection tasks, journaling, meditation, writing, music, arts, things of that nature. And these students all felt a better sense of self-regulation, stronger decision-making abilities, and a major decrease in anxiety. So it turns out that expression is the opposite of depression. And when you learn how to feel correctly, you learn how to heal correctly. All right, now with that out of the way, you understand why this is so important. These things actually work. You use your brain and your mind for everything. I often tell people I would rather lose everything I have than to lose my mind. So if you learn how to take care of this thing up here that controls your entire reality and the way you respond, then you are able to control more of your life. Less things are out of your control, less things bring you uncertainty, fear, and anxiety, and you can have peace. All right, number 1. Your brain believes what you repeat. The brain is constantly creating shortcuts. It wires itself around repetition. If you constantly think, I can't, or I'm not good enough, your brain will start to believe that that is true, even if it's not. You can have the talent, you can have the ability, you can even have the support system, but if in here you believe that you are not enough, you will never be enough to yourself until you remove that underlying belief. This is called cognitive distortion. The more you believe a negative belief, the more it is going to become true to you. Sometimes this is hard to escape because to everybody else, it's not the reality. It's your own subjective reality about yourself. So it's like it's only happening to you is what it feels like, although it's also happening to everyone else around you in their own way, in their own reality per se. So how do we deal with this? How do we get rid of this distortion? Well, we have to find clarity. The clarity is who you actually are. If you're not okay, you have to admit that you're not okay. That's the starting point. We have to tell the truth. So that way, whatever it is that we build, our new identity, our future, our relationships, we build it on the foundation of truth, who we actually are. It's hard to admit the truth sometimes because the truth hurts. Of course, it might hurt your feelings, somebody else's feelings, but the truth is, the truth hurts because lies die when the truth is told. So when you tell the truth, part of you has to go, and the part of you that has to go is the lies, everything about you that is untrue. So this is why sitting down, journaling, writing things out, self-reflection exercises, drawing things, making music, if you're a writer, doing any form of expression to get these negative beliefs and emotions out of you so that way you can see them outside of yourself, and then you can kind of sift through them and take them captive and say, why do I believe this? Why am I continuing to put this in my identity? This is not who I am. And you will figure out where it came from. Maybe it came from the group of people that you're hanging out with. Maybe it came from your environment. Maybe it came from your parents. People have put these beliefs onto you. Someone said you were this a long time ago when you were 6 years old and you believed it, and you've believed it ever since. And you have to replace it with the truth. Somebody may have made you feel like you're not enough, and then you just believe that for 10 years, 20 years, who knows, right? Sometimes, kids, they'll get in trouble and they'll feel like they're the bad kids. Well, that's not the truth. You're not your feelings, right? You're not your feelings. Feelings come and go. The truth is you did something, you got out of line, you messed up, and you felt the negative emotions of guilt and shame. It made you feel like a bad kid. So you labeled yourself as a bad kid or a bad person or a bad student or a bad son or daughter, whatever it may be. And then you took that label and you made it your identity. And now it's who you are and you believe it. So to you, it became true. And now there's certain things that you can and cannot do. Well, I'm a bad kid. I can't hang out with those kids. I'm a bad kid. I can't have a relationship with an adult or authority. I can't ask for help from an adult because bad kids don't talk to adults. Bad kids don't get good grades. There's a lot of things you can't do now because you have labeled and limited yourself around this negative belief that you're a bad person, and it's simply just not true. So you have to express the negative emotions, express the negative beliefs, write them down, get them out, and then really sift through them and take those thoughts and beliefs captive. Ask yourself how they got there. Forgive the people that hurt you. Forgive yourself for believing these lies. Detach from them, let them go, and replace them with the truth. And I would actually write that down. If you wrote down that you are not enough, I would scratch that out and I would put I am enough. And remember, your brain believes what you repeat. So I would write down all the negative beliefs, replace them with the exact opposite positive belief, take a screenshot of those, put it on the back of my phone, so that way every time I pull out my phone, that's what I'm seeing, and I'm repeating that to myself over and over and over again all day long until it becomes what I believe. Moving on. Number 2, expression is the opposite of depression. Now, I know we've talked about this a little bit already, but I want to go deeper because this is scientific fact. You can look this up. Every form of expression, may it be talking, may it be painting, may it be music, may it be journaling, anything that puts emotion into motion, that moves you, it reduces emotional pressure and it takes away depression. Think about depression as pressing down on you. That's why when you feel overwhelmed with emotions and you feel depressed, you feel physically heavy. And we say things like we have baggage, things that are weighing us down, because that's how it feels in our body. So it turns out that that's the way we feel because that's actually true. We are holding on to negative emotions. We can feel it in our gut when bad things happen or we're in negative situations or environments. We have this gut sick feeling in our stomach. Why? Well, because we can actually physically feel the negative emotions. And if we hold on to those over time, it becomes sickness, illness, and disease. And the reason why is because negative emotions are stressful. When you are feeling negative emotions, stress hormones are released throughout your body. Cortisol, norepinephrine, adrenaline starts pumping through your body, your blood pressure goes up, you're having physical repercussions from feeling and holding on to negative emotions, and you can't live in constant stress mode forever. Eventually, it will physically take a toll on your body. So it turns out that you actually can worry yourself sick. But the good news is you can also express yourself well again. If you take the negative emotions that are stagnant inside your body that you're holding on to and move the emotions outwards through an expression and then detach from the negative emotions so they don't come back through forgiveness. Forgiveness is less about saying sorry and it's more about letting go of all the parts of you that are untrue. So saying sorry and forgiving the people that have hurt you, and then forgiving yourself, like I said before, for believing all of these negative beliefs, letting go of the guilt and the shame and everything else that would tie you to these emotions, forgiving, abandon them, let them go. And it's not forgive and forget. It's forgive and remember peacefully. Now you get to remember the negative situation without the negative emotions attached. And what's going to happen is that distortion that we talked about earlier, that cognitive distortion of not knowing who we truly are, that fades and you will have clarity because the negative emotions are no longer clouding your vision. All right, moving on. Number 3. You don't need to be the whole solution. You just need to start. And what I mean by that is you're not going to do this completely by yourself. Yes, I believe that you are the solution and you are the answer to your problems, meaning I can try to help you and so can everybody else. But if you don't help yourself at the end of the day, you still will end up helpless. That is true. But what I mean by you don't need to be the whole solution is you're not doing this completely alone. We just need you to start by accepting help and admitting that there is a problem and you need help fixing it. But you're willing to do the hard work and you're willing to take action. Action is just evidence that you have what it takes to be the person you say you want to be. If you don't take any action, then you won't have any evidence. And if you don't have any evidence, it's going to be really hard to believe in yourself and the change that you're trying to create and the beliefs that you're trying to replace. So take some action today. Even some small actions over time make a huge difference. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, I think you'll enjoy these videos that I've put up in this playlist. And also, if you want to book me as a speaker at your school, event, conference, then click the link down below, fill out the form, and my team will reach out to you shortly.